This is my journey of growing from 0 to 4,000 subscribers in the tech tutorial space and getting monetized in my first year on YouTube. I'm making this video for two groups of people. The first are people who subscribe to my channel and learn from the videos that I'm creating. For you guys, I just want to show you how I got here and where I'm planning to go next year. And the second group of people are content creators. So for you guys, I want to show you my learnings and help you grow your brand faster. I'll talk about some analytics from my channel, including my Patreon and my Substack, and I'll show you how much money I made from all this. But before we get into that, I want to take you through my journey from the start. So I began creating content on ZazenCodes and sort of built this brand. It was inspired by like my interest in Zen concepts. So Zazen is like a meditation posture, and then codes. So I thought this would be an interesting brand. I did some Google searching and there didn't seem to be much presence for this brand name. So I knew that I'd have like a space to slide in with this name. So that's how I picked the name. And the reason I'm creating these tutorials on YouTube is that I love teaching and I love building hands-on tutorials. I just want to share some summary ideas for those of you who are going to click off this video, and you can take these with you into your own work. First of all, ideas are easy, but execution takes a long time. So choose the ideas that you're going to execute on really wisely. It's important to think long-term and think about the big picture and what your goals are with everything, but you can't think too much about that. There has to be a mix of big picture thinking and actually doing. And by sort of going in between these two things and periodically thinking big picture and then actually sitting down and doing, you will learn by doing, but you'll also be able to sort of cast a big net over things and where you're going. I'd say don't be too controlled by what your audience responds to. You should have your own idea of where you want to go, where you want to take your own content. If you're just being reactive to what other people are applauding you for and what's working, there's a balance there, I'd say. And lastly, the idea of Kaizen, which is continual improvement. Always be looking at what you're doing and try and do it better next time. There's 3 quick ideas for you, but there's a lot more to come. So let's jump into my statistics here. All right, so starting in November of 2023, I'm uploading videos on a variety of topics that I'm interested in. Things like philosophical ideas and tutorials, and I'm experimenting with things, and I'm experimenting with different thumbnail styles, and I'm always seeking to improve. So one thing is, notice how these thumbnails don't have much text on them. But then as I continue improving my videos and learning more about YouTube, I realize it's important to include text in the video thumbnail itself. So that's a big change I made. And one thing I'll stress is at the very start, when you just begin creating videos, for me, they took the longest. They took the longest to film, to edit, and because of that, like I was disappointed with not getting much result for all of that work. So definitely be prepared to spend the most time on your early videos and get the least reward for that. It's all part of the investment in YouTube and figuring out your niche. And so that's one thing I really tried to do as I evolved my videos here. I'm trying to figure out what type of videos I want to create. And at some points, like around here, this is in around March, and I had sort of caught my stride with YouTube, and I had some big ideas I wanted to share. I had big ideas around this keyboard, which I was really passionate about, and my layout for that. So I got that out into the world. I had some big ideas around NeoVim and note-taking, and I got those out into the world, and all these videos did really well. The Moonlander ones were my really big first successful videos, like 15K, 20K views, and then my Neo stuff got like 50, 60K views by now. And around this time is when I got monetized, and it was due to this success with these NeoVim and Moonlander videos. But the problem was that my head was already moving on from those subjects onto the next things I was interested in as I was more experimenting, trying to find what works. So by the time these videos come out and I realized they were successful and they were resonating with people, I've already, dove into this stuff. So I started creating videos on Python and on Docker and machine learning and this ML Engineer Starter Pack, which I wanted to do. But now I'm looking at my videos and I'm like, okay, all of this stuff that I've been interested in, putting a lot of work in, none of this has done as well as those videos. So what do I do? Do I listen to my audience and continue creating videos that are working for me? Or do I listen to myself and continue to grow in the way that I want to go? And so I listened to myself, and that was difficult for me because now I'm creating all these videos in machine learning and ML ops and sort of this concept I'm growing into for 2025 called AI Engineer engineering, which I'll talk about later. But it was difficult because I wasn't getting very much reward for all of this work I was putting in. And one learning from this is that I don't think all the work I've been creating to create high production quality has been coming through in the results for me. So that's one of the learnings for next year, which I'll summarize later. And around this time, I created a course. And so I put the first hour of the course on YouTube. And here I want to show you, I ran some ads on this. And so I got about 1,500 views. And I want to show you the analytics for this. I put about $80 into advertisements. And if I go to reach and scroll down, so out of these 11.5K impressions, I can see that 70% of these impressions came from these ads that I ran. And this almost 2,000 views. See, this was when I was running ads here. So, when I put this first hour and a half of my course, my hands-on course out on YouTube, it sort of came up and just plateaued, and nothing was happening. My course was selling once in a while, right? But I thought it would be good to invest in this, and this is where I ran my ads, and then my ads stopped, and I guess it's sort of getting a few views, but nothing really, right? So if I ran another set of ads, I imagine I would see another increase proportionally. And I'll show you how I was able to sell this and how much money I made from that later. So let's just finish up my content. And I just want to bring your attention to this stuff here, these lifestyle videos. I took a trip to Montreal and I was thinking big thoughts, and I wanted to share these lifestyle videos. And this might have been a little bit of a trap, but on the other side of things, I am happy that I share these ideas with the world. The trap wasn't thinking I could do more than I could. And my idea was to put out one lifestyle video a week and one technical tutorial a week. So I wouldn't have to sacrifice the momentum I had with my technical content, and I could also share these lifestyle ideas. But at the end of the day, people are probably going to watch my YouTube channel for one reason. And that reason could be because I talk about keyboards. Or that reason could be I talk about NeoVim. Or it could be that I share lifestyle ideas around, productivity and mindset. But it's probably not going to be all of those things. And it's probably not going to be all of those things plus AI engineering, which is what I want to get into this year. So this was a mistake, I think. I'm not saying I regret it, but I'm noticing this. Now let's get into my analytics and money that I've made. So this is all my first year. Going back to January, I'm really not getting any views. I'm just playing around at this point with a few ideas, but I'm also working on other projects. And then around March, this is when my video takes off. This is the Moonlander stuff. And so that's been the biggest, impact I've made. And I also had all this NeoVim stuff happening with Obsidian and the Second Brain. And so that did quite well. And then I had some more sort of small hits, like maybe this is when I put out my reg microservice video. I don't really know. But from here, I've got steady growth. You can see my subscribers here follow the same trend. And we could look at the money I've made. So I've made $200. Certainly not taking home a lot of money from this whole business yet, but this is what I'm doing. This is through ads on my videos. So thank you to everybody who's watching these videos and going through ads in order to support my business. Right, so that's what's happening on the YouTube side of things, but I also have a Patreon, and I talk very heavily about my Patreon because this is my main monetization idea to get people involved in my community, and I have some content on here. And so I have about 10 subscribers, 10 are active, 10 have canceled, so people cycle through. And I appreciate every single person who's come here and put a tip in my jar, essentially, because this money does add up. So I'll go to my shop. And so let's see, if I go to all time, I've made $130 from this course. I said I put about $80 into advertising it. So I've made, a little bit of money on this, but this course took a long time to develop. So this was, I guess a bust basically, but that's okay. Live and learn. And all time is too much. Let's go to past year. So all in total on Patreon, I have about $300 Canadian that I've made from my supporters here. So thank you so much, you guys, especially the people who've purchased my course, because I know that was a big investment. So I hope that was worthwhile for you. And the last thing I'll share is my Substack. So this is my newsletter. It's kind of my third tier of my community, and it gives me a channel to my audience through email where I can send updates and get people to sort of come back and watch my content regularly. And I have a promise here to just send one email a week, right? So I think that's helpful. So I get about, 1,000 views a month as of the last couple months of creating content. And then that dropped off really heavily in December for some reason. So hopefully that picks up in January and we'll see this return to about 1,000 views a month from my newsletter. So let's talk about some big takeaways from my first year. At the start, big investment, low return. Always focus on Kaizen, so getting better every time and noticing what works. Think about what your audience wants, put yourself in their shoes, and also think for yourself about what you want to create in addition to what is resonating with your audience, and try and balance those two things. And lastly, going forward into this year, some very specific things are I'm going to focus on my niche, which I've come to be calling AI engineering. And you'll hear a lot about this next year on my channel, because this is going to be my main focus of what I'm teaching and my main focus of where I'm going with my own career. So I'll explain why I'm doing that in the next few videos I'm uploading. The next point is around optimization. So I've been putting too much time into editing these, not getting the value that I want out of that. So I'm going to try and increase the value for my time by putting a little bit less production quality in, and see how that works, and creating shorter videos, really focusing on getting these times lower so that the videos are easier for people to watch and more accessible. And so lastly, the future. So what's coming? Well, I've been building a new website, and this site's going to be an e-learning platform, and I'm creating a course on AI engineering roadmap. And the idea is, I think AI engineering is going to be a really important job in the next 10 years. And this course is to equip people with the sort of foundations of what they would need to become an AI engineer. And I'm really excited to make this course available for you. So if you might be interested in this, you can go ahead to my website, ZazenCodes.com, and just sign up for my email newsletter, which I was just showing you on Substack there. And then you'll get notified when this course becomes publicly available, which should be in February 2025. For those of you watching because you're growing an online business and creating content, I hope these ideas resonated with you and help you grow your business faster and make fewer of the mistakes I made. Although I will say that there's no better teacher than experience. So just get out there and start creating stuff. And for my audience who's still watching, thank you so much. Thank you for 2024, and I can't wait for what we have in store this year. Oh yeah, namaste.